This is the live coverage of the arrival of Astra-Zeneca vaccines to South Sudan. The first doses of the vaccines that have long been awaited for from last month, mid-last month. And as you can see, is a plane that has brought vaccines. There are 132 vaccines of Astra-Zeneca vaccines. One of the vaccines that are being rolled out across the globe to protect people against the pandemic. And such 32,000 doses of the and waiting for the reception of the vaccines are representatives from the World Health Organization, representatives from UNICEF, and representatives from the Ministry of Health, and also some plane that has brought the vaccines. And in due course, you will now expect the offloading of the vaccines. And while that will be happening, there will be also remarks made by the different representatives that we will get to know shortly. So what you have seen is already that the vaccine is confirmed arrived in the country, that is the Republic of South Sudan. And we know the 132,000 doses are a portion of 864,000 AstraZeneca vaccines that have been approved by the COVAX facility. The COVAX facility is comprised of health partners such as CEPI, Gavi, World Health Organization, UNICEF, and the Ministry of Health in the Republic of South Sudan. And these first doses are expected to go and cover, Now the booth of the plane has been opened, and you can see right in there cartons of the vaccines, the AstraZeneca vaccines, that will be offloaded shortly. And you can see a health personnel going to disinfect the plane before the vaccines could be offloaded. And we soon expect the offloading to take place after disinfection of the plane takes place. So this is what has been waited for quite a while, since last month. The arrival of the vaccines have been postponed several times, but here today the vaccines have arrived, and we expect that South Sudanese are going to benefit from this, especially those who are in the first phase of the rollout of the vaccines, basically frontline health workers and the elderly who are 65 years and above, as alluded to by the Ministry of Health. And the first doses will be rolled out to Juba County across 16 PIAMs, and those who will benefit are first frontline health workers and the elderly. So it will be distributed, of course, in fixed centers where they are said to be cold chains, and where there will be mobile health teams to be able to roll out these vaccines. But here we are still talking about the arrival of the vaccines in the country.
You can look for someone in the interview and be giving him the mic, and then while you record it with your recorder, so that you already your data.
Has anybody commented?
It's okay. So I'm here.
Welcome once again to the live coverage of the arrival of the Astra-Zeneca vaccines. The first doses of the vaccines have arrived in the country, 132,000. This is a portion of over 700,000 that are expected to come to the country. And
that we succeeded in getting into South Sudan the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines. This is the start of a long journey. We have been working closely with many partners within the COVAX facility, which is a facility that makes it possible for all countries to have access to the COVID-19 vaccine. So this is the first batch. We hope and we plan for more to come in the coming weeks. Actually, we are speaking about up to 630,000 through the COVAX facility in the first 6 months of 2021. And that will help the country to kickstart quickly the vaccination here in South Sudan, starting first with the frontline health workers, because they are the most at risk, and then followed also by the elderly people, 60 years old and 65 years old and older. So this will be the first focus, and hopefully through this vaccination, South Sudan will be able to pick up with normal life again, which means also for children that they can pick up with their lives, that they can continue their education, that helps her, because today, because of COVID-19, a lot of activities are put under pressure.
so are you excited about this arrival? It has been anticipated that the vaccines would have arrived much earlier than today.
No, it's a process, and obviously it needs a lot of preparation. It's not only about the supplies sent in. It's also about making sure that as soon as they're in, everything is in place to start with the vaccination. And this vaccination is particular because this is not about vaccinating everybody immediately. This is about prioritizing groups of people. So there's a lot of preparation work, and we couldn't have the vaccine brought in the country before actually the vaccination plan was up and ready, because the idea is that vaccination campaign will be started in a few days from now.
So a few days from now, probably next week.
Yeah, so in a few days from now we're going to start the vaccination. The Ministry of Health is obviously leading that with the support of WHO and UNICEF and many other partners. And while we speak, we have already started also with communication activities so that people are aware of what vaccine stands for, who is supposed to be vaccinated, and why it is important to work on prioritization of groups to speak with.
Thank you very much, Yves, for speaking to iRadio Live. Thank you, do appreciate. Yes, you have heard from Yves, the communication officer for UNICEF, one of the partners to the vaccines that has actually been brought in the country. And as you can see, the offloading is taking place, and shortly we will hear remarks from representatives from the different health partners, World Health Organization, UNICEF, and as well as the Ministry of Health. I do understand there are other organizations like CEPI and Gavi. Those are all partners that have all collaborated to the success of what we are seeing today. That is arrival of 132,000 Astra-Zeneca vaccines. One of the vaccines being rolled out across the globe to protect people against the pandemic. And in this case, this is the first batch of what we expect more in the coming months. special advisor, Stuttgart Rakio, has come to the airport alongside with the Minister of Health to receive the vaccines, and other diplomats are also standing right behind to witness this reception of the Astra-Zeneca vaccines. And yes, of course, what we expect then that he would certainly make remarks, and the Minister of Health as well. And I suppose the guest of honor must be Stuttgart Rakio, who has come along with the Minister of Health. They have just been given the programs, and the program has a list of people, particularly officials, who will be making remarks at the reception of the Astra-Zeneca vaccines. As you can see, dozens of cartons of the vaccines are being pulled out from the plane. With a symbol of Astra-Zeneca. And of course behind the Minister of Health and the presidential advisor Stuttgart Look, there are health cadres who are standing behind, also to witness the reception of the vaccines. And there is an ongoing conversation between Stuttgart Rakio and the Minister of Health, looking through the programs. And the program is basically giving remarks about the vaccines that have finally arrived the country. Shortly, the speakers will be coming to the podium to give remarks. Yeah, you can see journalists are scrambling for space and putting their recorders, when the cameramen trying to position themselves to the podium, and the podium is yet being disinfected. I don't seem to observe social distancing here of